Chip, can we just get your perspective on what you saw from that game winner from Shea the other night?
Uh, an incredible shot. But that's who Shea is. He's done it before, and I don't think that'll be his last one.
It was a really a full team effort in that game. Just what do you remember about how everyone kind of stepped up in that game?
Uh, it's what we've seen all season long from everybody on the team. Great players make big plays in big games, and that's what guys were doing.
Coming into this game, is there any carryover from that game against the Knicks that you want to apply tonight?
Yeah, 100%. We try to learn from mistakes that we make in every game, win or loss, and there's definitely plenty of things that we could learn from in that Knicks game, and I feel like we'll apply that tonight.
And Chet, I just wonder because those last few minutes of that Knicks game were chaotic. I mean, the free throws, the rebounds, the shot making. Like, as you looked at over in the past day or so, like what stood out most in those past few minutes?
Credit to the Knicks. They had some big time players who made some big time plays, but we also made some mistakes down the stretch that we're gonna have to clean up. Especially coming towards the end of the regular season. We gotta really hammer down on a lot of that execution stuff because at the end of games, that's what separates a win from a loss.
Chet, last summer when you were thinking about your individual goals for this year, did it all ever factor in that you wanted to play every game this year?
Yeah.
What tell me about what you thought about?
I just love to play basketball. So every day I get to wake up and go play basketball is a win for me. I didn't want to be ignorant to my health and everything, and if there's a situation where it's in the best interest of my health going forward to not play basketball that day, obviously I'll listen to the medical team and listen to my body and what's going on, but if I have the opportunity to play, I'm always pick that, and that's the mindset that I've always had, and I didn't want to like an injury like what happened last year to kind of change my mindset around that, so I just kind of brought that into this season, and with my routine and everything I put into my body and trying to be healthy, and then a little bit of luck, I guess, too. No freak incidents or anything. I've been able to play every game so far, and hopefully that continues.
You haven't been in the playoffs yet, personally, but you played that game the other day, had a playoff-like feel to it. Tomorrow, obviously, you're playing a big game against Boston. There's only a couple weeks to go in the regular season. Does it feel different now that you're in April in terms of the preparation for the playoffs and sort of what's ahead than maybe games in December or January or February? Just from a mindset standpoint?
I definitely say yes. We like to attack every game the same and, not overlook games, especially early in the season because they all do mean a lot. A win or loss earlier in the season could be the difference between this seed or that seed. And, the playoff picture in the West is so tight. One game now, means the difference between seeding. So they're all super important, and we're taking them all very seriously. And every win and loss means a lot. So we're definitely trying to make sure we're on the winning side, not the losing side.
I guess more what I meant was, does it feel? Do the days feel different now? Like, because you could see how cold. I don't mean that games are less important, but it's natural to look ahead to the playoffs. Feel like. Obviously, that's something you've, I'm sure, dreamed about for years. Is playing in NBA.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like,
you
does it feel different now? It's only a couple weeks away.
Yeah, you definitely got to fight kind of human nature on that. You don't want to look forward to the playoffs and forget about what you're trying to do right now. That's kind of what I was meaning by how important all the games are. We're focused on playing Philly tonight and figuring out how to put ourselves in the best position to win this game.
So I just want to get this straight on the you playing the entire season, because I know. We kind of talked about, you maybe feeling some of that early in January. Had there not been points at all this season where you may be thinking about, the kind of toll it's taking on your body?
Yeah, for sure. It's a long season to begin with. There's a lot of games. It's not easy. That's why you don't see everybody playing 82 games, or you don't see everybody who's played in every game this year so far. It definitely takes a toll, and you just kind of got to compartmentalize, everything going on. Because if you're focused on, my body's tired, this or that, it's taken away from your preparation for the games that you're trying to play. So, just trying to focus on the right things. You can't really control, being tired. That's kind of part of it. Everybody's tired. Everybody's, somewhere on their body's hurting for everybody. So, you can't look at that or try to make an excuse with that. You just got to, figure it out and try to, be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is limited. I don't know if this is limited to Dub, but he was just saying in pregame the other day that part of maybe the most refreshing thing about playing for Mark is just that he's always open to new concepts, new ideas, just never really firm on a set of principles, just always forever changing. Just how have you seen that as long as you played for him?
Yeah, obviously we're a young team, and Mark's a young coach, and we have a young coaching staff, and part of that is, he's not stuck in his ways because he's still figuring out what his ways are. As are we as a team. So the only way to kind of reach for the peak of what we can be is to, look for different things that can be better than what we're doing right now. And, when we find something that works, kind of trying to find the best version of that. And, we're going to continue to do that going forward. And I think it'll leave us in a good spot.
Jay, Will, can we just get what your perspective was of Shai's game winner the other night in MSG?
Yeah, of course I knew what the play was, and I think great players make great plays, and when we saw Shai with the ball in that position, I feel like we all had confidence in him, and I've seen him work on that mid-range shot. I've seen him work on mid-ranges for hours every day, so I think we all trusted Shai to make that shot.
J-Dub said after the game that it felt like everybody made that shot at the same time because you practiced that so many times. Just what does that say about this group and this team?
Yeah, I think our coaches do a great job of getting us reps in certain positions, certain situations, and things like that. And I think that we trusted Shai with the shot, and I think as a team, we knew it was going to happen. We knew what to do, what the looks were, and I feel like as a team we were prepared for that situation.
Jaylin, what does it say about your group? Obviously, you guys are one of the younger teams in the league, but it's not a surprise to people when you guys have success in those situations. Now, Shai's hit a bunch of those shots. Jaylin has hit big shots in those moments. Are you impressed at all or surprised at all how quickly you guys have been able to find success in pressure-packed moments against, high-level teams like you did the other day?
I feel like we go into every game just with a level head. Regardless of what the game is, we want to play the Thunder way, and we stick to what we do. We trust each other on the court. We trust the next guy. We trust that we're going to make that extra pass, make the rotation, and I think that this is kind of how we've been playing throughout the whole year, and we just trust each other to make those type of plays.
You've been put in a lot of different situations over the last couple of games, the 4, the 5. What's been your mindset when you're out there on the floor in those, varying roles?
I'm really just going out there and playing as hard as I can. I know that when Coach looks at me, he knows that I'm going to go out there, I'm going to rebound, I'm going to play hard, I'm going to play defense, I'm going to move the ball left to right, I'm going to talk and communicate. So I just want to make sure that when I'm out on the court, I control those things and make sure that he can trust me to do those things when he puts me out there.
Recently, it's been the assists that have been the things that have been really up for you recently. What's it been like kind of tapping back into that passing and playmaking?
Yeah, it's fun passing the ball. I think that's my favorite part of the game is just making those right passes and getting my teammates those great shots. And I think when the ball's moving around, the ball has energy, that's when we're out there having the most fun. We're yelling at each other, running up and down the court, and it's fun making those plays.
Having a bunch of siblings growing up, was it like you're going to get a punch if you don't pass the ball?
No, it was more like I would get a punch if I didn't rebound for them while they were shooting. So all my siblings were way over than me, so yeah.
Hey, Dub was just saying in pregame the other day, just how refreshing it is that Mark is just always open to new concepts, new ideas. I just wonder your perspective on that and how you maybe seen that materialize from Mark.
Yeah, I've been around a lot of coaches, and I think I said me and Wiggs, we always talk about the game and what's going on, and we'll watch when Mark draws up a play, and we'll talk about what we think is going to happen throughout the play, and we kind of see what happens, and we're like Mark is smart. Like, Mark knows what he's doing out there, and sometimes it's really interesting to me to see how smart he is basketball-wise and just trying to pick his brain and read what he does, and I think that he's a great coach. He's a player's coach. He helps us. He puts confidence in everybody, and he's just really just a great basketball mind.
Will not play. Shai is still questionable. Didn't go through shoot-around, but got treatment, and we'll see how he feels. So, trying to get him ready.
Mark, the defense, the consistency that you guys had in New York for the full 48 minutes to kind of keep a level head, regardless of what was going on. How encouraging was that to see, in that environment, this group be able to keep a level head throughout the course of the game on that end?
I thought our poise in the game was really good. I thought our execution wasn't great. It wasn't one of our better execution games. I thought both teams left that game up to chance, and we happened to make one more play than they did. But if you want to kind of control a win on the road against a good team, we had to execute a lot better than we did. So there's a lot we can learn from that. We tried to treat it as if we lost the game by one and learn the lessons so that we can continue to improve, because it wasn't our best game there. But we played hard and we played with poise, and that was enough. We made enough plays, obviously.
What does executing better against this Philly team look like for you guys tonight?
I mean, it's very Maxey heavy, just because of the load that he carries for them. He's the head of the snake. So you got to take care of business against him, which is easier said than done. He's playing at a really high level and with a lot of confidence. And then it's just, winning the closeouts out of that. They're a disruptive defense. They've turned teams over more than anybody in the last 10 games, so they're playing with a lot of aggression right now. So you can't give them live balls. You gotta be sharp against them and burn their aggression if you can.
Mark, I think a common thread now among some of your guys is just when asked about maybe the most refreshing part about playing for you, they kind of just say, the most refreshing part. Yeah, it's just you being open to new concepts, new ideas, just never really sticking to your ways. I wonder, because I know you had to experiment in the G League, but does that philosophy maybe predate that? Like, where does that come from?
It's not a philosophy. We're trying to do what's right for the team, and not allow what's conventional or what's already worked to get in the way of that, because things are constantly changing. So it's not philosophical as much as it is like, it's paranoia about making sure that we're doing everything we can to maximize the team and not allowing, usually it's past success that gets in the way. It's easy to experiment when things aren't working, but if things are working, there's a tendency to get rigid, and we try to stay really nimble and fluid, and look at the best thing. But it's also not random experimentation. It's like, it's an educated guess. It's, we're not ever going to try anything that we don't think can work. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's not related to my philosophy or anything. It's just trying to figure out what's best.
That's not necessarily something that can always, I shouldn't say can always, but does always carry over to the playoffs in terms of, like, you've been pretty fluid in trying different lineups and combinations throughout the season.
Yep.
Do you think that's something that maybe you guys can, maybe not exploit's the right word, but do in the playoffs that's a little different than normal, or is that not necessarily something you think would carry over to the postseason in terms of your overall approach to it?
Some of the approach,
Game by game thing.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all. I
thought you were. No, that's all right. Some of the approach is because of the playoffs. I mean, it's always fascinating to me that you get into a series with one team, you play them up to 7 times, and the series, the way that it unfolds, forces you to adjust. And sometimes it forces teams to adjust to things that they've never done before. And it's always been curious to me. It's like, I don't want to be in a situation where we're adjusting to something that we've literally never done in the highest stakes environment. Like, we'd like to know what that looks like. And so we try to be pretty aggressive and proactive because of the playoffs. We didn't know, going into any season if we'd make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But we wanted to develop an adaptive team, both, with the decisions we're making and also having our players used to that, so that if we do have to make an adjustment in the regular season or in the playoffs, the players aren't interpreting that as like desperate. It's like they just know that's what we do. We're trying to find the best things, and we're willing to be aggressive in pursuit of that.
And how much of that is also attributed to your players buying into that mindset? Because it's obviously not, I wouldn't say it's unconventional, but it's different than necessarily a lot of teams do, because guys tend to want to have structure and exactly how they're playing and when they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge credit to them. It's their mindset, their open-mindedness, their ability to adapt, their capacity to adapt. It's an intelligent team. And we always try to, everybody always says sell. I don't like that way of phrasing it, but we always try to explain why we're doing what we're doing so that they understand the thinking behind it. I think that can get you in trouble sometimes when you just do stuff and they're like, what the hell are we doing right now? But we always try to make sure that when we make a decision, they know why we're doing it. And we've found some creativity, from them that doesn't even come from me or from the coaching staff. When they know the intent of what we're trying to get done, they then can carry that out to a degree. So we're all in it together, and we're trying to, find every advantage that we can.
Mark, you use the word paranoid, which is interesting because I don't really take you for a paranoid guy. Is there a level of paranoia required at this level for coaching?
I'm probably exaggerating, but I would say, I would never want for there to be something that we're capable of that is not discovered because of my own stubbornness, rigidity, fear. It's my job to try to uncover all that and sometimes fail in the process. But that's what I meant by that.
And at what point in your coaching tenure did you have that realization that there is a point where you can maybe step in the way of your guys?
I can what?
That you can maybe step in the way of your guys, kind of like you were just saying. That you can get in the way of them by sticking to your.
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime you're doing the wrong thing, or that you trip on something that helps you, but you didn't really do it proactively. Circumstance forced you to do it. And I think, like I said, if you study the playoffs well enough, that happens every year where teams are forced to do certain things, and their season rides on their ability to execute something that they're doing for the first time. We just don't want to be put into that position. So we just try to be as aggressive as possible to make sure that we're sharpening all the tools that we'll need, during the regular season and in the playoffs eventually, when we get there, which obviously we've gotten there this year.